So today I wanted to do a video on 7 tips to shoot your first 600 at 70 meters. And I'm joined again by Mike here. Thanks for joining me again, Mike.
No problem, Ash. Pleased to be here.
So I think today's going to be really good because obviously we've got kind of a recurve side of things, but also I just wanted to touch on really kind of like 7 general tips that archers need to know to shoot their first 600, because that's a little bit of a kind of a milestone for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And obviously it's kind of hard at first to shoot your 600, but there's some kind of common, not easy, but fairly simple steps that you can take. So what was your kind of first thought on this kind of topic, if that
I
makes
think
sense?
the common mistake I come across is people focusing on the total number of arrows they've shot each week rather than the consistency. Having 50 arrows a day is far better than shooting 300 arrows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I know it takes more commitment and more arranging of your life, but having those gaps, having a single day gap is normally manageable. And actually, if you dedicated yourself to training every other day, I think you could be a 600 archer quite successfully. But when you have a 2-day gap or you have a 3-day weekend where you go visit grandma, things like that massively hold back your development. And I think there's people don't realize, they think they can make up for it on Sunday. It's okay, on Sunday I'm going to shoot 500. But if you haven't shot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you've regressed. And then at the weekend, you might not even get back to your old level. Shooting, so I guess the other point is shooting 50 arrows is so much better than nothing. What's your sort of view on this?
To be honest, I'd never really thought of it like this before until you mentioned that. But I think that's a really, really good point, because I think it's easy to get caught up in the total. I probably did this, the total number of arrows. I just shot every day because I was borderline addicted, I guess. So it didn't really, I didn't have that problem. But like for people who actually have a life, that's definitely an issue. But I think this is a great point, because whenever I would have a rest day, so we'd normally have a rest day. For me, normally it was on a Monday, but whatever day of the week,
same here.
You come back and it's all right. If you have 2 days off in a row, that first day back is almost, not completely, but almost written off just to get back to where you were the previous Sunday. Yeah. So I think that's really, I think this is a really good point, because if you do have that 2 days off or 3 days, damn it, grandma, don't visit grandma. It is really difficult to get back. So I think either alternate days or just looking at like, okay, maybe I'm going to shoot 400 arrows this week. Don't all do them on Friday, like you say, because A, you're going to be really tired. B, 300 of the arrows are going to be rubbish quality anyway, because you're not focused on it. So splitting those up is really, I think, really clever. And also, you kind of alluded to it, there's a feeling of, I've only got 40 minutes or 50 minutes to shoot. It's not worth it. It's not worth going to shoot 40 arrows or 50 arrows in the garage. Yeah. Actually, it is. Yeah. You can get a really good session if you actually focus on it and then just go and do the rest of your evening. So I think
you might not progress, but you're not going to regress. You can maintain your level with literally as less as 50 arrows. And if you can't do that, doing some bow exercises, just doing something is so important. When you do nothing, and I've also had top world-class female compound archers, and if they miss 3 days, they can't draw their bow back.
Oh, because of the peak weight.
Because of the lack of testosterone, women can lose muscle something like 7 times faster than men. It's crazy. I mean, I always remember when we were with the rowing team, men have 3 days off before a tournament, and the women get 1 afternoon. Because the women will start getting weaker after 1 afternoon, and the men reach their maximum strength after 3 days of rest. And that was a crazy number. But they're the Olympic rowing team. They're going to know their numbers. So
they will definitely
just bear that in mind. Having a gap, particularly for women, is really detrimental to your strength.
Yeah. I think that's a really great takeaway, because a lot of people can maybe structure their week differently from this as well. No matter how many arrows you shoot or how often you can shoot, I think this is really good. And maybe it informs them like which days they want to go to the club, which days they want to shoot at home, that kind of thing.
And if you can only shoot for an hour, it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Quickly, if you're enjoying this video, you're going to love the 3 things I want to mention to you right now. So first of all, if you haven't already, you need to check out onlinearcheryacademy.com, which is my free website where you can go and there's basically technique guides, training guides, equipment guides, how to tune your bow, loads of stuff on there completely free. You can also put your email address in to get my free weekly newsletter. Over 8,000 archers worldwide read this, where I send tips that you can't get anywhere else. Maybe equipment tips, mental tips, training tips, stuff about competitions, everything in there. Also, if you haven't already checked out my Online Archery Academy video courses, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You need to check them out. You can go to onlinearcheryacademy.com, click explore the courses, or you can go directly to courses.onlinearcheryacademy.com. There is currently, and I say currently, a beginner's course here that you can see, an advanced recurve technique course as well that you should check out. And eventually, very soon, there's going to be a tuning course as well. So if you haven't checked those out already, you can go there and have a look there. There's sections where you can basically see every single thing that I cover, which is a lot. There's a lot covered. This is the most comprehensive course on recurve technique in the world. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen any course that comes anywhere near this in terms of the detail that I go through every single stage of the shot, of your technique, how to troubleshoot those areas as well, how to train them, and I offer a money back guarantee with that as well. Finally, the last thing I want to mention, if you haven't already, go to members.onlinearcheryacademy.com, or you can go to onlinearcheryacademy.com and click become a member. And there you can join my membership, which is just £3.99 a month, to basically get exclusive access to me and loads of equipment advice, technique advice, free videos, Q&As, that kind of thing. So after this video, I'm going to record some more information in here on Q&As that people have sent in, technique things that maybe aren't as suitable for YouTube because they're just not going to get the views, that sort of stuff. This insider access is in the community and you can see all organized in a really nice way. You also get my newsletter archive of all of those previous newsletters that I mentioned. You can access in here as well. So there's loads of stuff. Check it out. And now back to the video. And that moves us on kind of nicely to kind of my first one here, which was, I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is actually, like, they need to actually have a shot sequence to shoot 600.
Yep.
When you first start, there's so much going on, so many different things. It just feels like a mirage, like a kind of a barrage of things that you got to focus on. And it's easy to just think like, oh, okay, I'm standing on the line, I'm drawing the bow back, and then I'm shooting. And if you do that, when you have your rest day and come back, it's almost impossible to refocus. But also you have no concrete sequence of things you're doing. So as long as you've got some shot sequence, it doesn't have to be 28 steps of perfection. Just even, simple sequence of hand in grip, set my hook and my grip, then raise up, and then, focusing on specific cues, having that for you is going to just make life a whole lot easier. And I don't know what was your experience with kind of a shot sequence like that or working through that.
I was very lucky that my club coach, that was something he preached sort of almost from day one. He would mention it. Of course, as a beginner, I didn't really follow it, but I had that drilled into me from an early age of we want the arrows to go in the target consistently, so we want to do everything consistently. And yeah, it makes a difference. And you're right, some people don't bring in that focus until much later in their progress.
And then obviously if you've not focused on that at the beginning, it can feel a bit weird to suddenly put that in, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, when we had a Korean coach, he was wanting me to do everything the same. I mean, where you look with your eyes, where you pick up the arrow, he wanted every sort of end of arrows to be identical. And I don't think I ever quite got there, but yeah, he was taking it to the next level.
Absolutely. That kind of, I guess that brings us on. There was another point that I wanted to touch on with that, which is having a shot sequence. But I think also another thing is actually having a coach. So when I say like coach, this doesn't necessarily mean, obviously, if you can, get coaching from yourself or from me, that's great. But like maybe not everyone can do that, or maybe there's, you've already got a coach, or maybe you have an archer at your club who has already shot 600, or maybe shot 620, 630, preferably someone who's a bit better than you. But the essential thing here is having someone outside yourself that can look at you shoot objectively and see this is what you need to improve. This was good, this was rubbish, and hasn't got any ego involved that can objectively see that. Because it's kind of hard to see for yourself, especially if you're a beginner, you don't know what you're looking for, having that
Yep.
expert eye. I don't know what your thoughts are on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, in the business world, we'd call it a mentor or a role model. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's the mentor, really, someone you can talk through the weekend was. And I had a guy at my club who was incredibly useful for me. I could just debrief how my weekend went, and he wasn't a high level performer, but he would he would listen to what I had to say and ask me some key questions and make me think about what I was doing or remind me, didn't you have that problem last year, or didn't you have that? How did you fix it
That's
back
a
in
great
August or
one.
something? So yeah, you want that feedback. You don't want to do it alone.
Because I don't think, thinking back to when I was shooting, let's say 550, 560 or something, I don't think I would have got to 600 without a coach. Obviously, that was a club coach at the time, but still having someone that was like, this is what you need to work on, this is what you need to do. I think it's quite hard as a beginner. Archery is so technique based. There's so
Yeah,
many things to do.
because I was coming at it from 10 years prior with a compound. I didn't have that.
Ah, yeah.
I want to even say maybe my first tournament was 600. I can't remember.
Nice. Straight in.
Straight in.
Straight in.
But yeah, certainly as a compound, I needed a coach. I needed club mates and someone you can talk to about it. And yeah, the coach is great, but anyone at your club who's got an understanding is going to help move you forward.
Exactly, yeah.